So here we have two trucks, a pickup truck and, well, it's a Cybertruck. It's not really a pickup. And this is a pickup truck designed by people who know what pickup trucks are, for people who need pickup trucks and know what pickup trucks are. And this is a truck designed for somebody who wears a man bun. Matt?
Hi Dave, how are you?
This relationship is becoming abusive. Me. Another Z06 in red, and you have something else to show me.
I do. I've got the all-new electric GMC Sierra Denali to show you. I think this is going to be a fun one.
Well, you know what I think about electric vehicles. And a Denali.
An electric,
you already sold me a Denali.
Yes, yeah. The opposite of an electric pickup.
Exactly,
truck,
yeah,
yes.
a dually, which
a
just
dually
was,
burning diesel.
And I have to admit, as much as I like that brand new Denali dually, it was hard on fuel.
Yes.
Because it was hauling a lot of weight.
It's a lot of weight, and it's made to haul a lot of weight.
And it could, yeah. I mean, big trailer behind me, never noticed it, you know.
Shall we? Okay.
Yeah, I'll follow you, because there's a sea of pickup trucks out there.
We are not short on product here, no.
Okay, Matt, so you know I like electric cars. I mean, I had my first one in 2013, and my second Volt was in 2017, and now I've got a Lyric, and as much as I like V8s, I also like electric cars. I got room in my life for both of them. But, you know, electric trucks was really not something I'd thought about, and then, you know, Elon Musk brought out that slab-sided piece of dumpster, the Cybertruck. But GM has brought out pickups, which I always thought was going to be, you know, and then you told me you had a Silverado, which I thought was cool, and then I wanted to see the Silverado, and you said, well, you don't have it anymore, but you have a Denali. So here we are, this pickup truck that's fully electric.
Fully electric, yes. We started with the Chevy Silverado EV. They came out last year around the world. It's been a really big hit. There's a work truck version of that, which has been popular, and an RST version, which gives you all the accoutrements that this truck does. Yep. This is the first ever GMC Sierra all-electric vehicle. We're starting with the Denali. In the coming year, there will be other offshoot models. There'll be an AT4 and an Elevation, so lower models. But this is kind of the best pickup truck electric version that we've ever had, or that the world has ever had. And then this truck has a lot of firsts for GM. First pickup truck to have 24-inch wheels and tires from the factory. First pickup truck to have auto air suspension leveling system in it, so it has the ability to raise and lower itself. Is it one of your first trucks that has a heater inside? Because as much fun this is, I would have more fun inside. It's probably got a decent heater in it, and it's minus 15 out here. Yes.
So let's take it for a drive.
Let's do that.
All right. It's tall, eh? Jeez. Oh, dirty feet on. This is brand new.
Brand new, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Oh,
okay, well, shall we take her for a ride?
yeah, let's go for a spin.
Okay.
So here we are in an electric truck. And I mean, let's face it, people aren't talking about, you know, these trucks. The electric truck that everybody is talking about is the Cybertruck.
Okay, yes.
Now, if you know anything about vehicles, as soon as I saw that, I started laughing. My first impression was, well, they haven't been able to find anybody who knows how to bend sheet metal. They've built a truck that they're yelling and screaming about its off-road ability. Well, people who've taken them off-road have proven they have no ability to off-road. They're too long, chassis don't bend, you know, the whole thing stays stiff. They're not for that, and they're not that great at carrying cargo.
Our whole frame just snapped.
So you get a lot of people making stuff up, but I mean, in the real torture testing and everything, they're not like real pickup trucks. As an expression of, well, in my opinion, bad taste, they're a great representation of that. The traditional companies have made pickup trucks that are electric, and that makes sense. I mean, Tesla's made this science fiction-y thing that really isn't going to appeal to a whole bunch of people, that really isn't very good at most of the things that it's supposed to be good at. And I think this is why you're better to deal with a car company that's got over 100 years of experience than a car company that's basically a computer company that decided to make cars.
Well, sure. GMC is a truck company first and foremost.
Yeah.
Tesla is a self-proclaimed software company first and foremost. So
yeah, and I mean, you need you need a background, you need a history to be able to rely on things. Cars have been built over 120 years, and in those gradual developments, if you all of a sudden just say, I'm going to make a car, and you don't have any of that background of design, you can hire a few designers, but you don't know whether they're great designers or whatever. Something the car companies found is people get bored quickly. You need to change things, right? And also, a 10-year-old car is a 10-year-old car. It doesn't matter if it's brand new on the lot. If you designed it 10 years ago and you're still making it, people have gone roaring past you. Let's face it, Mercedes found that out before they acquired Chrysler. One of the reasons they acquired Chrysler is they had gotten way behind in the technology, and Chrysler was way ahead in technology, but big technology rich, cash poor. Mercedes was cash rich and technology poor, so they bought it. Well, Tesla might be sophisticated in a lot of different ways, but it doesn't have the right kind of sophistication. You know, like designing PayPal is a whole bunch different than designing a vehicle that roars down the road at 120. I think you turn left here.
Yep.
We want to go and see an example of the silver slab-sided dumpster. I'm sorry, should I be that negative about them?
Well, I think
Let's see.
the real problem with the Tesla Cybertruck is when it was first in design, there was claims it would be $50,000.
Yeah.
The car's out. I mean,
It's still 32 much for that thing.
we're double. I
Yeah.
mean, it's $100,000 US for that vehicle, which far exceeds the price of this vehicle, which does everything it does and then some.
And
looks
you know what?
nice doing
I'm
it.
sorry. As cool and science fiction as Cybertrucks are, they're not pretty. They're rather unattractive. If you saw them in a B science fiction movie, you go, yeah, they were made just for this movie, and they're basically made out of plywood. And I can tell you that with great authority, because I have made movie cars out of plywood, and you can't bend it, so all your science fiction cars end up being slab-sided. And I'm sure, because the guy who's behind these things is a complete geek and a science fiction freak and everything, he probably saw something I designed for like Tech Wars.
And stole your design,
And
yes.
stole my design, and there it is, because I made a Jeep for Tech Wars that was slab-sided because they had no money to make anything
Well,
very
one of the best
fancy.
one of the best memes I saw was it was son. This is what happens when a DeLorean meets an Aztec.
Now, to be fair to Aztecs, they had some redeeming features.
They did, yes,
Yeah.
yeah. And Breaking Bad made them famous again.
Yeah.
Well, should we park it beside these two?
Well, I think that they might get mad at us, but yeah, let's.
Why not?
Yeah, hey, we're pulling up. We need a charge, right? So we're pulling up to their charging.
Well,
station.
and that's another thing with our vehicles that people are concerned about where to charge. So the charging network, you can use the Tesla chargers with these vehicles. So all the GM vehicles, we have adapters that you can totally use the Tesla charging because depending on where you live, especially here in Canada, there is a pretty good infrastructure already of Tesla chargers. You can use all of those chargers now with the GM vehicles and all the other vehicles.
So last summer, to be fair, because I am spiteful, I drove through the Tesla dealership parking lot very slowly in the Lyric because I wanted to see what a stylish looking electric vehicle looked like, right? And then I stopped beside one of the Cybertrucks, never really physically been close to one. And I got out and I walked up to it. I looked inside and I went, holy shit! That was my reaction. And it was because when I looked inside, knowing that these things are like $120,000, $125,000 or whatever, and my impression was 2 seats and nothing, and a band of cheap white plastic running around.
It looks like a prototype, really, yeah.
And you're right, it looks like something that was a dream car that they made with no intention of ever selling it because they knew it wasn't a saleable item, that people wouldn't be conned into it. And it goes to tell you a lot about the internet. Had this appeared in your local dealership with no internet warning, people would have gone, I'm not buying that because it's way uglier than an Aztec.
You got to look inside this thing, because my initial reaction, as I told you, was holy shit.
Yeah, not much to see. Almost like a child made it, or like I say, like it looks like a prototype vehicle.
I mean, not slamming it, but for 125 grand, you want some opulence. It's got this incredible long space from there to here, which was done in the 30s and rejected. Like there was guys who built vehicles where you sat way back in them, and it was rejected because how do you get to the window to clean it?
Like the Ford Aerostar.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you look at this, well, of course, in Europe, they won't allow these on the road because they're not considered safe. This as something to cut a pedestrian in half. And look at the fit and finish here. But look at that. You hit somebody with that.
Yeah, everything. I mean,
Yeah.
the Tesla's.
Your lights are down here. You can see an immediate problem with your lights in driving through a snowstorm.
They'll be covered up with snow. That's right.
Yeah. So here we have two trucks, a pickup truck, and well, it's a Cybertruck. It's not really a pickup truck. And this is a pickup truck designed by people who know what pickup trucks are, for people who need pickup trucks and know what pickup trucks are. And this is a truck designed for somebody who wears a man bun. Oh, and an interesting little thing. I saw this a couple of weeks ago. This is a foundation series. They have laser etched it into the stainless. Apparently the dealers, most of them have been polishing this off because the foundation model, which I think is just this, costs more. So when they polish this off, they can sell it cheaper and actually maybe sell it. But I mean, they've had a lot of Cybertrucks sitting here for a while, and you can see like this is all rusted.
It's been sitting a very long time.
It's been sitting for quite some time. Like now, would you pay $125,000? Look at that rust is right into that, right? Brand new vehicle. So.
Yeah, and these tires and wheels have famously not been doing their job. Like you can just see the tread. You've got a really flat surface on here, whereas you look at these 24-inch Michelins, this is a nice thick tread. These cut through the snow and they work. I can speak from experience. This truck's amazing in the snow. This truck will get stuck in 4 inches of snow.
Well, we've seen these online, lots of pictures of these things wallowing around, just not being able to get in. So, you know, it's cool, and they will have a place in automotive history.
Definitely will.
Not
yes.
in fit and finish.
No.
You know?
Tesla is famously not famous for good fit and finish.
And something a lot of people don't know is you get very special instructions when you buy these on how to wash them. If you get any grease or oil on them, you have to clean it off immediately so it doesn't stain the stainless. When you wash them, you have to dry them immediately so they don't water spot the stainless.
Yeah.
Of course, the stainless will rust if you're anywhere near salt water. If you wrap them, the wrap glue discolors the stainless. So if you take the wrap off, your stainless is buggered, right? So you know, like from a standpoint of everyday usefulness, dumb. Didn't learn from DeLorean.
No, you're right.
Didn't learn from DeLorean. Anyway, you know, my money, this is less money, isn't it?
A lot less money, actually. Yes, yeah.
How can you even think about that when look like
yeah,
cheap? I mean, really, look at the difference. Look at the amount of style and everything that's gone into this.
and I mean, there's something to be said for buttons on cars. Tesla's famously got rid of buttons, and if you want to turn on the wipers, you have to know how to find it in the screen. If you want to adjust your seat, if you want to turn on your cruise control,
They're
the
all
screen
over
every
us
time.
about don't use your phone when you're driving. But what they're doing with vehicles, especially the Tesla, is just as attention grabbing as your phone is.
Yes,
Because in order to find your windshield wipers, you got to run through a screen that has no field, and you're driving, it's pouring rain, and you're looking for the wipers.
Yeah.
Sorry, but I'm not going there.
Yeah,
May I drive this out?
of course, yeah.
Oh, there's no handle. How do I get in? Oh, the steering wheel.
Well, and we can set a mode where it will lower. It has an easy entry-exit mode so that whenever we put it in park, the suspension lowers down. I could enable that. I usually do on my own vehicles. Just makes it a little easier to get in and out. It also makes it look a little less trucky when it's parked, though, because it's squatted so low.
Yeah. And it's just, basically it's, you know, one of the things I've noticed, it used to be when you got in different vehicles, there's a big learning curve. But when you jump into, it doesn't matter what vehicle you jump into, it's all sort of familiar, okay? And it doesn't manufacture.
Yeah.
The only time I've had, I rented a Mini once down in California, and I jumped in and I sat there, I couldn't figure out how to start it. I had to go back and say, you gave me the Mini and I can't start it. And the guy just gives me this look. Again, and I don't mind piling on Cybertrucks, but you know, the guys who designed that didn't understand that human beings are very resistant to change. There was cars that didn't have running boards built in the 1900s and 19-teens and 20s, but people wouldn't buy them. Same as Franklin's had an air-cooled engine. People wouldn't buy a Franklin until they put a radiator on the front of it, even though it didn't need a radiator, right? This goes to having some experience with design. If you just give people what a Cybertruck has with 2 seats and a steering wheel with nothing here, being all high tech, it's not going to be comfortable. You get in, you feel at home in this vehicle. You get into a Cybertruck and it's not homey. There's no opulence incorporated into a vehicle. It should be $125,000. Well, let's go for a little spin with me driving.
Okay.
If
I
you're
like
brave
it.
enough.
Yes.
Yeah, old man in charge. Okay, so we want to park using the crab walk. So what's the process?
Okay, so it's easily accessible on the screen here. We just push this, we enter the crab walk. It'll say for sure we want to do it.
Uh-huh. And then you get the cool screen.
We get the cool screen.
Yep.
We're in crab
It's
walk
worth doing
mode.
it just for that.
And then it adds a little icon here. So once you're done, you can just push a button to take it out
So
of it.
basically, we're driving straight ahead, but we want to arrive there with class
That's right.
on the red carpet.
We'll give
So
it a
we
little
just
bit of a turn and
gently, oh, look at that. It's
it
just
feels
sidling
so neat.
itself
Yeah.
over.
Yeah, it's a cool way to arrive and say, here I am. It does.
That's completely silly.
Yes.
And
But something you would do. It's a very,
is
it's a
something
cool
I would-
sensation.
I would just use the hell out of that
Mm-hmm.
feature because it's just fun. Yeah, that's just like bizarre, isn't it? I mean, normally if I'm in a vehicle that's doing that, I'm in trouble.
Yeah, you're sliding.
I
on
don't
the ice,
I don't
yeah.
want it to do that. And of course, if the more aggressive you are, does it angle them more? Like for,
Well, kind of a half turn. So when the steering wheel's upside down once, it's doing it sideways. When you go more than that, it'll allow you to actually turn because its true reason of existing is to help you for 4x4ing. If you're ever stuck, it just allows it to get more traction doing that diagonal
yeah,
motion.
if you're just trying to sidle past a rock or something, yeah, I'm interested in it because I'm
Or if you want to get in or out of a parking spot, it's
Yeah.
handy. Yeah.
which I'm sure most people will use it for that. But yeah, that's just bizarre.
It feels weird though. Yeah, it feels like it's
It does.
kind of
Yeah,
sliding
it's just
around.
like-
yeah.
Yeah. And you told me this one has a front. I'm looking for the button to turn it off, and it turns itself off.
Yeah, and it's a small feature, but I mean the ability. So you get in the truck, you
It's
just
so
push the brake, and it
So
turns on.
confusing.
And then when you stop, if you just open the driver's door, the truck turns off. Okay, so we're off. Now, if you were getting out, but you were going to leave your family in the car because you're going to grab something, you just push a button, stay on.
Uh-huh.
But when you get used to this, it sounds funny, but like back in the day, we had keys. Now we don't have keys, we push button. Well, you get in a car with a key, you say, well, this isn't as easy. This is a really cool feature. You just get in, push the brake, and boom, you're off. There's no pushing start.
I know because my whole life I thought, oh, this damn key.
It's a little feature, but it is another neat feature that is the future of cars. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Good. So I'm glad you. Well, no, I don't know if I'm glad you did this because, like, now I want a pickup truck as well as a Corvette, as well as a Blazer, as well as you got to bankrupt me, man. It's gonna look like I'm a Ford guy.
You're going to
Or
need
I'm
some
t-
extra parking
A
spots.
Ford guy. It's gonna look like I'm a GM guy.
Hope so, yes.
And my family was always GM in the beginning, so I'm just going back to my roots.
Me too. There you go.
All right. Hey, listen. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks, Dave.
All right, and we'll see you. Well, the next time you phone me with something cool.
Okay.
All right.